3, 2, 1.
Welcome,
Gamers! I'm Bob World Builder,
And I'm Grace World Destroyer.
and this is the World Builders Club, a completely exclusive club that anyone can join if you want to get a just free monthly challenge or mini writing prompt to make your fantasy world as a game master or a fiction writer or whatever cooler than it was before you saw the prompt. And so this past month of April, our prompt was, I'm not like the other gods. And the challenge was basically to create a deity for an unusual domain. This was your idea, too, this
Yes,
prompt.
it was my idea.
Because Grace loves making all kinds of gods. I feel like in every iteration of a podcast that we've had over the years now, we always have at
have to
least
talk
one
about
episode about
that.
gods.
Yeah.
And I think in this one, we will be able to go over all of the submissions because there were not that many, but I loved everyone that I read. The premise again being, or as I've written here, oh boy, another god of the sun. Ah, storms and sea, death, harvest, blah, blah, blah. Where's the god of dust or that puddle over there? And so the challenge was to write no more than 5 sentences detailing your not like the other gods deity, including at least 2 unique elements of their portfolio, perhaps their realm, habits, titles, greatest deed, notable relic, relation to another deity, worshipper's most notable rituals or practice, etc. For inspiration, consider the following question. What's one annoyance or pleasantry that you, or a character in a fantasy world, experiences only from time to time? And I think a lot of the submissions really drove in on that in fun ways. And the second thing was that there is a second half to the show where Grace World Destroyer here advises submitters, or rather other game masters, on how to introduce chaos into their world in fun ways.
How to crush your players in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, and so be sure to comment on this video with how you would like Grace World Destroyer to help. You know, you got to give some details about the players or the campaign, etc., just enough seeds to help us plant a beautiful. I don't really feel like finishing that metaphor, but yeah.
Give me seeds.
Okay, so going to the first comment from Aaron Corbett. Achu, the Soul Eater. Domains, hay fever, cats. Achu waits to steal the souls of people who sneeze and aren't blessed by those nearby. Servants of Achu scream, "Look at that!" when people sneeze to prevent others saying bless you, so Achu has a chance to steal a soul. Relic, pepper shakers with warped lids that fall off when used. I really like that. I only just read these this morning, so a couple of these are from weeks ago, but for, first comment out of the gate, this is amazing and hilarious. Somebody else commented kind of adding their own lore to this, so that was really fun to see. And
What's the lore?
well, it's a little long, but I'll get into it here.
Give me a summary.
Brent said, yeah, I'll just kind of, we'll dart through this. I remember when I first read about Achu. I believe even acknowledging the being alerted it to my presence. It was a sunny Friday afternoon in Munich during my studies at Universität that I began to delve into its mysteries. Then lunch and an overly peppered strudel sealed my fate.
Peppered strudel.
Is that a German thing? I don't know. They have all kinds of strudel, maybe? When I took that bite and I began to expel a sneeze that would have awakened the nasally one. But at the peak of I caught myself using the ward of my finger to my nose to prevent the unintentional calling as I felt its longing for my very being. Now I lurk in pharmacies and sterilized spaces mid-eruption, a constant hell of sneeze unfinished.
Oh no.
There's a little more, but anyway. So, okay.
So, as vengeance, Achu cursed him to always be mid-sneeze.
Yeah. I mean, overall, again, that's why I made sure to give that little tagline I wrote for inspiration for this. A bunch of these all kind of follow these, I don't know, just No, that one's not even necessarily modern day. That one's obviously very applicable in any
Yeah.
world. Not
And
that you talk
that
about your
lore
characters
that
sneezing a lot, but
that guy wrote
yeah.
was reminded me of like Call of Cthulhu.
Right.
Like
It
I
was,
was at the university and I
yeah.
discovered forbidden knowledge.
Yeah, and like even the last couple sentences really kind of drill into that more. It's actually signed "The Diaries of Baron Jan von Gesundheit," or yeah, Gesundheit,
Gesundheit.
Berlin, February 1897.
That's a good one.
Okay, yeah, and I love the collaboration. That's like what this is all about. So well done, guys. Now from Weird Guy, one of our regular posters here. It's Gone, spelled Itsghonn. Keeper of the missing, governs all things lost. The other sock, dad's keys, the remote control. Itzgon has them. Itzgon's realm is endless and ever-changing, populated by mounds of items that people have misplaced. It prides itself on organizing and maintaining these mounds into similar items, but its work is never done. Should someone invoke Itzgon's name while searching for the item, it is magically teleported to the next place they look, possibly toppling the mounds. Itzgon does not receive missing people or pets. That's some other deity. Itzgon cannot stack those. It's tried. Nearly everyone unknowingly praises Itzgon in their search, eventually uttering such common phrases as, "I don't know, honey, it's gone," or "It's gone, and I've looked everywhere." That's it.
I love how it's gone. Like it doesn't take people or pets because it can't stack them.
Yeah, that's a
So it's
great
only
detail.
taking things because it likes to stack them, and it doesn't like things that it
Yeah,
cannot stack.
pile of missing socks, easy.
Yeah. It all there's like in the show Hilda, which is kind of like a Scandinavian folklore based cartoon. There are little creatures that do just like take stuff and stack them around this like demi-plane that they live in.
Yeah.
So it's like that.
Yeah, I feel like every culture probably has some explanation, right, for like where lost things
Yeah.
end up. Honestly, reading this reminded me, and I tried to Google to see if this came from somewhere, but when I was a kid, and like, my sister and I or whatever would like lose a toy or whatever, even for like socks and stuff like that from the laundry, my parents would say it went to Goonie Poo Land. And I don't know if they got that from somewhere. I'm gonna have to ask them now, because that's the first thing that came to mind when I read
I
this.
do remember one time we were at the beach with
Oh,
your sister's in-laws and their
okay.
kids, and one of the kids like toy bus went missing,
Yeah, it did
and your
work.
mom like invoked the saint of who's the
Oh, Saint
patron
Anthony.
yeah, your
Yeah,
mom invoked Saint Anthony, and the bus was like found. The
yeah,
toy bus was found outside the window, and it was like, oh, it worked.
yeah. I mean, she does that all the time when she loses something. It's praying to Saint Anthony, and then if it doesn't work, I
It's
guess
in Goonie
it
Poo
went to
Land.
Goonie Poo Land, a rival
Man,
realm.
I can't believe you didn't tell me about Goonie Poo Land sooner, because
I
that's
don't. Yeah, I mean, you lose things all the time. Not to
yeah,
keep going on with
and that's
this, but
exactly the
yeah,
type of name of thing that I would love to
it does
know
sound like a thing
and
that you
invoke
named.
all the time.
Okay, let's jump to the next one. This is from Robit, aka Kyle, or switch those because Kyle's probably his real name. But anyway,
No.
the post is Kevin, God of Indecision. Parentheses, thanks Grace for the suggestion of Kevin for a god name from last episode. I don't remember what you said with the god named Kevin, but yeah. We were talking about like little guys, I
Yeah,
guess.
maybe.
Anyway, titles: He Who Ponders Endlessly, The Questioning One, Relic, Polyhedron of Indecision, and Associated Documentation. Roll once per day when you are struck with the inability to decide on what to do. The topic of the indecision acts as the reference to the appropriate document. The roll determines the selection from the document's table. His compatriot is Ronigan, the god of chance. So that I do remember, that name, Ronigan, from one of the little guys, I guess. But yeah. So building on lore from previous posts is
Yeah.
pretty fun.
So what was the relic again? The polyhedron of
Polyhedron of indecision and
indecision.
associated documentation.
So it's like one of those magic 8 balls, but all of the sides just say, I don't know. Or ask again later.
Yeah, I'm reading. So like one of the comments here, I don't know if I should introduce them to the campaign. Well, I think it's just like
Then you already have.
Well, yeah, exactly. Okay, wait a minute. There's something I'm not getting about this. They wrote, I like RAN space NU space GEN as the god of chance. I see what you did there. Oh, okay, it's random number generator. Got it. Only took 2
one.
episodes. Okay. Yeah, okay, and he even replied to that. I had to spell it out for my table, and they did not appreciate the joke nearly as much as I thought they would. All right. Next is Jason Goodman, who has, I don't know if you're going to get this. You might get this. Sly, the god of last-minute TTRPG and world-building prep. This benevolent patron of lazy and or overtaxed GMs everywhere is known for inspiring his priesthood with simple-to-implement suggestions for how to handle low-prep GMing. His sacred rites include the random generator, a process by which his adherents can offer up specialized prayers and receive in return the divine fantasy key smash to employ in their games. Sworn enemy of the discourse spiral, a god that drives hyperfixation on negative news about the gaming hobby.
So this person just deified Sly Flourish.
Yes, okay. I couldn't remember. Like we met him at a convention once, but yeah, Grace doesn't watch a lot of D&D Tube, so
Nope.
just putting that out there.
I only watch
Cat videos
cat videos
and a couple
the various silly
boys.
Yeah. Curtis Connors,
Yeah, Drew Gooden,
Danny Gonzalez,
Eddie
Drew
Burback,
Gooden, and some
yeah.
silly girls as well.
Yeah, just Chad, Gabby,
Yeah.
Belle. Yeah.
That's
Anyway, okay. So I really like one of the comments here saying there are 8 tenets of this faith known as the checklist. Believers are free to mix tenets together or ignore some entirely. Now, this is one that I'm not sure if the name is a pun and I'm not getting it, but the name is Premater, Premater. He who lurks at the border between light and dark, the husk of longing, the dead master of barriers, guardian of doors and windows, the lurker in the boundary. Premator's domain is the undead legion of bees, spiders, and other arthropods that found themselves trapped and dead in doorways and windowsills. A powerful ritual of Premator's followers consists of taking one such remains from a window and combined with an artifact of passage, being a rusted key, bus pass, or hotel room keycard. It must be combined with a shoelace and gum that has been stepped in. The charm allows users to pass through portals unmolested by devils, members of any faith, or solicitors of any kind, especially window salesmen. It is spoken that the wind one feels when opening a door or window is the flapping of his 17 wings.
Oh.
I like 17 wings as a fun detail at the end.
Yeah.
Odd number of wings.
I don't know if this is a pun or anything, but that's more what I was looking for.
Okay.
Like the god of spiders that fail to pass through a window. That's awesome.
I mean, yeah, that is a very good one. That is a
Yeah.
very good one. Great comment here, relevant to one of my other YouTube interests.
You have YouTube interests?
Aaron here said, bravo, Premator just made me realize that the spaces between screens and windows are the insect equivalent of the back rooms.
Oh, yeah, the back rooms.
And somebody here said, I swear I had already written mine before reading yours. Doors and windows, rusted key, so many of the same elements. But that's interesting. I'm not sure if I saw their comment, so we'll have to keep reading.
Did anyone write a deity of coincidences?
No, but that would have been a good one. Some twist on deja vu. Like, I could see that. Anyway, this is from Brutalion, who wrote Matu, goddess of the greater half. The just mother, she who holds scales and wields the blade. It is impossible to split anything into two perfectly equal parts. There is always a greater half, a phenomenon that threatens cosmic balance. Matu maintains equilibrium among mortals, ensuring that every soul receives as many greater halves as they do smaller halves over time. Her followers donate to the needy, try to split things equally, and donate to the church difference from the greater part they received. Her servants prosecute those who split things without the intent to be fair, taking and giving as needed to balance the cosmic scales.
That's another good one.
Yeah, her greatest relic is the Blade of Difference, which shears away, literally or metaphorically, the exact difference between a larger half and lesser half. And her symbol is the blade above unbalanced scales.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that one just really like felt right to me as like a great fantasy god, but also something that applies to like everyone has breaking the cookie, whatever it is. That's
Yeah, the last two are ones that you would find in like a long forgotten temple, just like in a dungeon. I'm like, huh, what the fuck?
Well, and I
is
could
this?
also see this one being like, there's a city somewhere or like a town, whatever, that like this is their primary deity, and
Yeah.
everybody in the town's like very obsessed with equality in like to comedic levels. That could just be really funny. So I really like that one. Austin Brugamon. Not sure if this is weird or niche, but here we go. Kelsera, the Maiden of Dreams, also called the Sleeping Sage and the Dreamer, also fancies herself the foremost authority on psychology and counseling, much to the chagrin of her sister, Arcadion, the Knowledge Seeker. Her domain is, of course, dreams, and the fact is that most mortals have actually had passing encounters with her, even if they seldom remember the experience, which tends to slip out of waking memory, much like dreams themselves. She believes dreams reveal deeply seated truths about ourselves and how we see the world, truths which are sometimes difficult to process or accept, so she takes it upon herself to help troubled mortals navigate particularly strange or powerful dreams. In doing so, she helps mortals to overcome their anxieties and fears, confront their faults, and let go of the things that haunt them in their sleep. The therapy god.
Yeah, I was gonna say the therapy god. I mean, like God of Dreams that's like a thing.
That is
already.
a thing. That is a thing. That's a good point. I didn't even really catch that. I was already so in the zone of reading these, yeah.
Yeah, but God of Therapy.
Understanding their dreams, I guess.
Yeah.
Is kind of, I don't know, it's like it's a good specific take on it. Adding specificity to a common thing, made it unique enough to me to not even notice. And this person, another comment said, I really like this. I'm curious in how she does act inside the dreams. Is she active and engaging with you and what is happening, or more passive and only watches, barely intervening?
Maybe
and this person
could
said,
explain that dream I had the other day of trying to get all that dirt on an airplane.
Yeah, before we head to Green Dragon Fest this week, yeah. And the commenter, or the person who submitted, replied and said, I think she watches most dreams passively, and when something piques her interest, she may watch a little more closely.
Then she walks into the dream and she's like, what's up with that, bro?
Says, man, you're kind of messed
You
up.
have a weird relationship with your mother.
Okay. So, here's the comment from... Okay, yes, I do recall reading this earlier. Here's a comment from someone, or the post from someone who commented that their idea was similar to another one. What is the worst thing an adventuring party can face? Exactly, a door. Well, blame it on Knock, the god of doors. This is N-O-K. Though some say that it is all View's fault, V-E-W. After all, the god of windows is famous for getting jealous of his brother and trying to sabotage his job. A bit unusual, one would think he should be entertained with everything he can see through a single window. Relic, a rusty key that won't fit in any lock. When trying to open a door with it, the furthest window in view will unlock. You've probably heard View's saying, when a door closes, a window opens. Yes, it was him.
That would be a really fun, like...
It's a fun item.
a fun item to put in a dungeon that, like, doesn't work on any of the doors, but whenever you use it on a door, something else in the dungeon is unlocked.
Yeah.
Even if it's not
concept.
Windows, because it's a dungeon.
Well, yeah, and
like,
I like this also, the way they've written this is, like, it's the furthest window in view. So, like, to even try to then, okay, we have this magic item now, we need to, like, get into this building, so we need to, like, find a door down the street over here. You know?
But still have to be able to see the window that we actually want to unlock
Right.
and hope
And
that...
it to be the furthest window if you're taking it very literally. Yeah. So that's fun. And it does, like you said, unlocking something else in the dungeon feels very Zelda to me. So
Yeah.
I like that. And a commenter here said, I am the one who knocks because I can't get in otherwise. All right. Now, a couple more, I believe. This is from Oz. Onder is the god of change, but of temporary change that also changes the nature of something. You see their work in the ex who still has access to your Netflix and watches episodes of that show you hate so they appear in your to-watch list. The friend who borrows a book and returns it after then folding over a page thereon. And the small child who you let have a drink from your glass but opens their mouth just a little too far and now you're not sure what is floating in your lemonade. Their followers focus on efforts of lending and ensuring that what they lend out is returned, but also that is a little change or for better or for worse. And their libraries are well known for having both insightful comments and hilarious graffiti notes in all of the margins, while the blood stains on the spine tend to be from those who won't return books on time.
That's a cute one.
Yeah. Pretty violent at the end, but otherwise otherwise pretty good.
Well, it's all part of the change.
I guess, yeah.
Adding blood stains
Okay.
changes a thing.
All right. Here's another one. From Frederick August. Talenu, god of broken bells. Oh, and this was funny to me because in our campaign recently, there's just been a lot of shenanigans around like a bell, so this reminded me of that, but also I don't know. Whatever. I'll just keep getting a read. I get ahead of myself. Talanu's domain is concerned with village bells that have been destroyed or lost throughout history due to war, invasion, or disaster, natural or otherwise. A mysterious deity, they are often spotted from afar, usually watching from a high perch over areas within weeks of upcoming devastation. Sightings are sometimes accompanied by the appearance of small ornately etched handbells set aside streets or paths in the area. Oddly, these bells have no clapper to produce a sound when rung. After attuning to one of these handbells, the wearer will hear a disembodied chorus of distant church bells when danger approaches, and any perception check made by the wearer immediately after will receive a bonus.
So this god goes and scatters bells around everywhere?
Yep.
Everywhere that a
These
bell...
little bells,
everywhere
and
that
just stands kind of far
he stands
from
far
places.
away. And everywhere that a bell is about to be stolen, they scatter bells around for people to pick up. That's kind of like a weird Easter Bunny thing.
Yeah, I guess it is. And anyway, what stood out to me was just we were basically, to the long short of it, is there was a bell that the players, strongly assumed, rightfully assumed, would create some kind of chaos. So they were trying to figure out all these ways they could like move this bell without ringing it. And I feel like we couldn't remember the word clapper for the thing inside the bell. I feel like we kept being like, well, how can I hold the thing and blah, blah. So that just helped me to have this resolved a couple weeks later.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me think, of course, of Abhorsen.
Right, and yeah, this class you
which
made a
I
while
also...
ago.
I didn't make up the concept of
Yeah,
a
sure.
person. That's Garth Nix. But like there's one specific bell that if you ring it, everyone in the vicinity just dies. So they have to like keep
Toll
the
the dead.
clappers stilled with like leather. And they wear bandoliers.
Do they ever ring them or could they just remove them?
I don't remember how many times a specific bell is rung in the series as a whole. I think maybe twice.
Okay. That sounds like an appropriate number of times.
Yeah,
for
to ring that bell. Yeah.
All right. Now, snuck up on me. Here's the last one, and then we're going to break and then get to the chaos stuff. So this is from Slit518, whose deity is Salaslida, the Deep One, that which slithers, the immortal worm, god of the earthworms. Habitat in the soils of the earth, including that of potted plants and gardens. Lore. Salaslida, the god of earthworms, burrows its way through the earth. It is said to bless the crops of those with blessed hearts and wither the crops of those rotten to the core. Followers. Earthworms are said to possess traits of Salislitha, the most prominent being able to regenerate if cut in half. Description: Salislitha is described as looking like a mile-long earthworm with tough elephant-like skin that radiates a pale green glow and a million eyes that run down its back.
Yes, million eyes, million
While
eyes,
also being covered in billions of little cilia to help
billion
move
cilia.
dirt around out of the way as it slithers and pushes through.
Any worm that you save from the street after a rainstorm could be Salislitha in disguise.
Yep.
And if you take that worm and you place it in your garden, Salislitha will bless
Well, bless your crops.
your crops.
I really like this note here. It said that, followers, earthworms are said to possess traits of Salislitha, the most prominent being able to regenerate if cut in half.
So the worms worship Salislitha.
I guess, but I'm taking that also as like, humanoid followers can regenerate if like cut with weapons.
Oh,
Because I feel like that's
interesting.
really cool. You know, not that losing limbs is like super common in fantasy RPG combat, because at least for like characters that would kind of stink most of the time. But I feel like, yeah, if you're fighting a cult of Salislitha for some reason, it would be really cool to describe that
Yeah,
happening
maybe they're just
mid-battle.
easier to
Yeah, they're
cut
so
pieces off
squishy.
of because they're squishy.
Okay. All right. Now it's time for our little break. And we're back with some chaos. So this first one comes from Robit again, aka Kyle. Switch those. Chaos submission. I submitted this last month, but it wasn't chosen yet, so I figured I'd resubmit here. I finished a story arc in my group's campaign. A noble with ill intent is capturing underprivileged species, custom species I made for the setting, from all around the continent to empower himself with godhood. The party discovers this, but the noble flees just before a murder on his estate kicks off the arc's finale / boss discovery / battle. Each player has their own story arc, but I'm tying it together through some plane hopping shenanigans using a Stargate, yes, that type of Stargate, and magical anchors that are imprisoning a goddess in the city of Sigil. There's 5 anchors: Feywild, Shadowfell, Plane of Fire, Mechanus, and Pandemonium. I got the Feywild written, but only cliff notes for the others. Any ideas? So what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is that each time they use one of these stargates, they are weakening the bonds on this goddess who's imprisoned. Now, I don't have a lot of details about like what's going on with this goddess, so if this is completely against what you had planned, obviously ignore it. But Sigil is where like the Lady of Blades is, right?
Lady of Pain, I think. Is the
Pain,
name.
yeah, Lady of Pain. Well, nothing can happen in Sigil without the Lady of Pain's consent. So
I think that's how it works, yeah.
I feel like that goddess is probably imprisoned there because the Lady of Pain wants her to be imprisoned there. So if the party is using these unsanctioned stargates that are weakening the hold on this goddess, that's going to piss off the Lady of Pain. And the Lady of Pain is the last
Probably the last
girl
person you wanna
want to
piss
piss
off.
off. Because she
Yeah.
will just turn you into meat. She doesn't even have to move. She just has to think about it. So obviously, Sigil would become a very dangerous place for them to be. Meanwhile, you have this noble who's trying to ascend to godhood, but did not successfully
Yeah.
do so.
From this post, it sounds like the noble is just kind of off screen for now, while they're
Yeah.
continuing their godhood work, but
I
the party
think-
is focused on unanchoring these anchors to release the goddess, I believe.
Well, they don't know that they're doing that.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. In this the way I'm telling it, they don't know that they're doing it. Maybe they could learn or figure it out somehow, but I think this other guy, this noble, I don't want to say redemption arc because like he's been enslaving people and I don't really think
Yeah.
there could be redemption for that. But they got to join forces because now he's the most powerful guy that they know of. I mean, obviously this goddess would be happy to join forces with them, or maybe she wouldn't because we don't know what kind of goddess she is.
Right.
So maybe they need this guy's help to protect themselves from the Lady of Pain.
All right. And yeah, and as far as, yeah, I got the Feywild written, but only cliff notes for the others. I mean, I remember from last month, we talked about Pandemonium is apparently a very interesting place. That it's just like a series of tunnels with deafening wind throughout it. And I know we had some cool tips, obviously for a different GM, different campaign.
Yeah, that was for like
related to
someone
that one.
whose player was blind and used their ears to see, but like obviously that wouldn't work
Right.
in Pandemonium.
But still could be this
So, like,
thing, you know, you had these cool ideas of it like becoming increasingly deafening them over time. So making that one still like a timed kind of mission on that plane is totally doable. Shadowfell honestly could be really fun to just invert whatever you already have planned for the Feywild. Like literally use mirrored versions of like the same maps. The monsters are just, you know, the dark reflections of whatever you had in the Feywild, because that's at least kind of how I always interpret the Shadowfell. And I don't know, Plane of Fire, Mechanus, any cool ideas off the top of your head for those?
I think Mechanus should be where they discover the truth about these stargates.
Okay.
I think that should be where they originated. And so if they hadn't figured it out by then, maybe this goddess is from Mechanus,
Okay.
right? So her followers built these stargates knowing that using them would weaken her bonds. And so they were subverting the will of the Lady of Pain by creating them.
And then sort of, you know, there's like the clues they left for people who might be able to free the goddess.
So maybe these stargates should have like a steampunk aesthetic more so than the classic SG-1
Maybe so.
Ring of Stone aesthetic.
Well, and I'm also thinking just that maybe then there's some way to tie the Plane of Fire into that they're like literally powered by flames from the Plane of Fire, especially if it's like a steam, I don't know.
Well, there's a plane of
sort of thing.
steam, so
I guess there is a plane of
powered
steam
by the plane of steam.
Then it's coal. I don't know. Okay. Well, yeah, I hope that one works out. I will say we skipped on this one last time, partly because we had a bunch of other submissions to look at, but also because even then we couldn't quite like piece it together
I'm having
from
a hard
some of
time
these
grasping
clues.
what I need to know, like what your
what is actually the goal
is.
Yeah, like it wasn't clear if are they getting the anchors because they want
are
to
they
release
trying to
the
remove
goddess?
the anchors? Do they know about the goddess? This is the type of the information that I need to know.
There were a couple, like definitely a lot of cool bones here, but then a couple things missing that helped us connect what's what. All right, but then to the second chaos submission of the month from Weird Guy, who said, "For Grace World Destroyer, my Daggerheart crew is trekking through a corrupted continent mutated by a Lovecraftian entity. This is the defining struggle of the world. Think trees with skin instead of bark.
I think about trees with skin all the time.
Wildlife with too many of some feature. You know, fun stuff to describe. They are heading to Moon's Touch, the lost home of the Keeper of Light. Keepers are lesser gods that walk the planet and her people. The Moon Elves who have become all but extinct from the corruption's effects. Question is, what do they find in Moon's Touch? No one has laid eyes on the place for 50 years, started the corruption, and returned. Additional note, barring homebrew lore dump, the Lovecraftian entity is inspired by the King in Yellow, but doesn't really have a name."
Okay, so this one's easy. Maybe a little too easy. Moon Touch is the source of the corruption. When they get there, they find that the moon is like, which in my head is like always visible from Moon Touch. Like it's a eternal night, but like in a nice, peaceful way maybe. But not anymore.
Not anymore because it's corrupted.
Not anymore because the moon is melting and the moon is dripping moon juice.
Touching, you might say.
Touching. It's like a string of gross saliva that is it's still glowing with like moonlight, but
Ugh.
it's melted down and it's like flooding this town with this gross like
Moon goo.
sticky moon glue phlegm.
Ugh.
And so
So the moon is an egg that is cracked.
it's not an egg, it's just wet. It started to dissolve, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
And I mean, it could be an egg, but not in the way I'm describing.
Could be an egg. Just saying, could be an egg.
And then the keeper, which I would assume is one of the most powerful beings on the planet because they're basically
Lesser
terrestrial
god. Yeah.
deities. That's something that's very dangerous for this eldritch entity to have their hands on. I mean, this could be the keeper has become a battery that is powering their ability to corrupt the wilds. The keeper might have become this eldritch entity after coming into contact with the moon goo. In my head, though, no one moves anymore. Like,
Petrified?
in this town. They're covered in the goop. And they're just kind of, and they can still telepathically communicate, but they have no need for sustenance anymore. And so they've just been like standing in place, zombified with this goop covering them for the last 50 years.
Okay, easy.
Yep, easy one.
All right. Well, that went very well. Our camera's about to die. So I think we say remember to leave your comments for more chaos suggestions down below. And check out the link below to this month's new world building prompt, which is about creating an important plant. Because fantasy worlds never have enough cool plants. Tolkien set the bar pretty high, but no one I feel like has even tried since then. Never enough cool plants in fantasy.
You will get bonus points if you can describe how this plant can be pickled. Because I like to ferment things.
Okay. And I think that's everything. Keep building.
Stop.